Hello everyone, welcome back to Dreambound. We just had our little I don't know. I think I think we fell into a dream. I think. So instead of going back in history like we have been doing, this is Noah having a dream about his classroom, and we haven't had a dream in a while. Just reminding everyone, there are no puzzles anymore because I couldn't get through one of the puzzles because it was being mean to me, or because I'm a fool. Not really sure which one. Yeah. So let's get back into this dream sequence or whatever. So he was in his old classroom from high school. Oh, hold on. Me realizing it's probably really quiet. I played a different game. The audio was like insanely loud, so and it didn't have settings in the game. So, haha. It looked just like the classroom he knew, with neat rows of desks and the board at the front, but there was something subtly off about it. Well, this is a dream, and they don't have to be one-to-one accurate depictions of the real world. There's always screwy stuff going on. The classroom was dim, and the sky outside was full of stars. It's nighttime then? Noah didn't think he'd ever been to school at night before, and if he had, he couldn't recall it. He took a step forward, as if to test the waters. Part of him was afraid he might sink straight through the floor altogether. Well, it is a dream. Stranger things have happened. The wood floor remained reassuringly solid, however, beneath Noah's feet. For a dream, it was quite a sturdy one. Noah took another step forward, then another. He paused by the window, looking out over the landscape beyond it. He could see the mountains in the distance, all fringed with forests, the same mountains and forests he'd seen when he looked out the windows during one of his math teacher's dull lectures. The place was a picture-perfect recreation of what Noah recalled, so much so it could have been a photocopy. But still, something didn't feel right. Noah could feel the fine hairs on the back of his neck bristling. It felt like something was amiss. And this feeling was further exacerbated when he heard the door opening behind him. So he wasn't alone in the stream after all. Somebody else was there. Is it the person who owns the stream? Or someone they're dreaming about? Noah turned, wondering who he would meet tonight, half afraid, half hopeful of finding out. And when his eyes met theirs, he gasped. This is my own dream, isn't it? I didn't know I could be so aware during one. I thought it must have been someone else's, but this is definitely mine. There was a boy standing there in the doorway, one with sandy blonde hair and green eyes, which peered from behind a pair of glasses. It was a face Noah knew well. He hadn't seen him in years, not quite like this at least, wearing his old uniform, but he'd run this face through his mind innumerable times. Noah knew he would never forget him, no matter how many years passed, even if sometimes he wished he could. August? That's me. The boy, no, August, it was definitely August, replied hesitantly. After a moment's pause, he approached Noah, his footsteps just as hesitant as Noah's had been arriving in the classroom. Oops. It couldn't be. Was August afraid of him? You look a lot like Noah, but are you really him? Noah didn't quite look like this. August's eyes skimmed Noah, who was standing in front of the window, framed against the darkness. Then at a loss for words, he shook his head. No, you're definitely Noah. I would recognize you anywhere. You look so tired. Did something happen? You can always tell me, you know that. August. Noah's voice caught in his throat. He knew that this boy was not August. Not really. Yeah, that kid's dead. Sorry, he is though. He was only a dream, a recreation of the August that Noah had known in life. He looked almost identical to the August that Noah knew, but he was not him. The real August was dead. Noah would never see him again. But the compassion that was evident in August's eyes, even if it was all a dream, even if he was only seeing what he wanted to see, still resonated. Noah had been so busy trying to solve the string of murders with Cain that he hadn't even given August a moment of thought during the last week. He'd put one of his dearest friends, the first and only person he had loved, from his mind. Cain would have said this was a good thing, that it was healthy to move on, and August wouldn't have wanted him to dwell in the past. But all the thoughts of Cain were wiped away the moment Noah looked into August's eyes. He has such pretty eyes. I can't believe I forgot about that. I can't believe I forgot about him. How could I have been so cold? Noah hadn't expected to see August, and the shock of it further stimulated his emotions. He couldn't keep them in check. He tried to steady his breathing, but it was to no avail. His eyes began to fill with tears. August, I can't believe it's you. It's been so long since I spoke to you. I've been pretty busy lately, but even so, I really do miss you. Hey, what's up, punk? My cat's like beating me up. Noah. August looked perplexed by Noah's tears, but he didn't draw away from them. Instead, it was the opposite. He approached Noah with his footfalls. Stop. She's like, punch. I need her to quit. Stop it. Anyways, he approached Noah, his footfalls light, and opened his arms. He pulled Noah to him. Then gently he said, "There's no need to miss me, and there's no need for tears either. I'm right here. Now why don't you dry your eyes? I have no idea what you've been through lately, but I'm not going to leave you." Noah knew that August meant well, but his words knifed through him regardless. He might not leave me, but didn't I leave him? I abandoned him. I should have been there when he died. I should have been there at his funeral. I should have been remembering him properly. So it was probably Cain at his funeral then. Got it. I've been moving on, but August? He can't move on. Noah clung to August, desperation surging within him, his cheeks wet with tears. August, I'm so sorry. I wish I never wanted to leave you, but shh. August rubbed soothing circles against Noah's back.
Hey, stop biting me. It's not nice. Biting people is mean. I understand you need attention, and that's okay, but you can't bite people. It's not nice. Thank you.
Oops. His palms pressed against Noah's shoulder blades. His touch felt corporeal enough, if nothing else. Noah knew it was a dream, and yet, I don't know what happened or what you're going through, but I'm sure everything will be alright. Things might be hard now, but you'll get through them. I believe in you. You're the strongest person I know, after all. That bonk was her hitting her head against my desk. You might believe me, but what if I don't? I'm in way over my head. I'm trying to act like I know what I'm doing, but I don't. I have no clue. People are dying, and I don't know how to stop it. I don't even know if I want to stop it. My own parents passed away, and I didn't even care. Well, to be fair, they probably would not have cared if you died either, because they were terrible people. They were terrible people. You don't have to care about your parents. I couldn't even bring myself to cry. What? Your parents died? When did that happen? A week ago. I didn't really care, though, like I said. And I never got on with them. But is that really an excuse? I don't know. Maybe I'm heartless. I haven't cried in years and years. Not since you. Not since. Noah swallowed. He couldn't in the end tell August what had happened to him, even if it was only a dream, a figment of his imagination. He didn't want Noah to know that he had died. That would make death seem even more real. His death seem even more real. And Noah didn't think he could deal with the reality right now. This is what dreams are for, after all. They're supposed to be an escape from the real world when things get too tough. But what do I do when my dreams are even more difficult? It's difficult to explain, but a lot of crazy stuff's been happening. My parents died, and so did Luca, if you remember him, and I don't know. It feels like somebody's targeting me, but I'm not gonna let them get away with it. I'll find them, and I'll stop them. I'll do it. For you. I couldn't protect you, but maybe there's something I can still do. Maybe I'm not completely useless. I'm doing my best. More tears began to bead on Noah's eyelashes, tears which trickled down his cheeks. But it's hard, August. It's so hard. How am I supposed to keep going without you? Noah, when you say that, you don't mean I'm not. Hey, August, why are you hanging out in the classroom at this hour? It's way past time to head on home. Hey, Kane, don't rush him. Noah gasped. He could hear the voices coming from the doorway, voices he knew well. There were two people standing at the entrance to the classroom, both wearing school uniforms. One of them, which was unmistakably Kane, though it was Kane as Noah hadn't seen him in some time. It was Kane, not as productive, put together member of society, but as a teenager, his eyes a little brighter and his hair a little messier. As for the figure standing next to Kane, meanwhile, hey, who the heck are you? It was him. What the? August drew back from the older Noah, who he had been bracing, to stare confusedly at the younger one. Noah in his school uniform. Noah, too, found his thoughts reeling. He hadn't expected to find himself, of all people, in this dream. But why not? It's not like it's a new phenomenon, after everything I saw in Ash's dream. And anyway, I'm back at my old school. Why wouldn't I be here? August is... And he and I were always together. We were inseparable until... Noah sniffed and then wiped a few more tears from his eyes. It was too late to try to save face, though. His cheeks were damp and his eyes must have been rimmed with red. It was blatantly obvious that he had been sobbing. I wonder what my younger self is thinking right now. I can't imagine it's anything good. Is he ashamed that he grew up to be such a sorry loser? Well, I'm ashamed that I was such a grouchy brat. Dang, I ruined. I wonder what August ever saw in you. Hey, August. Noah reached out to August. He wanted to talk to him, to tell him his thoughts, which had been locked away inside his head for years and years. He'd spent months after August's funeral listing all the things he could say to him if he could see him again, all the things he would do with him. There were several lifetimes worth of conversations he still wanted to have with August. A few minutes weren't enough. Noah? But the dream was already beginning to fall apart. The whole room trembled. Fissures began to run through it, tearing the very fabric of reality, or surreality, asunder. August. Wait, August! A large rift like a canyon divided the classroom in half. Noah stood at one side, whereas the trio from his teenage years stood on the other. It grew exponentially by the moment, and the others were getting further and further from him every second. Noah's arms were outstretched towards him. He tried to reach, his fingertips strained as far as they could to August. But try though as he might, he couldn't reach him. He couldn't reach anybody. Noah felt his own eyes, those of his younger self, boring into him as he faded into the distance. Was his younger self judging him? Did he think he had gotten what he deserved? Noah's younger self approached August. He wound his fingers around his wrist, pulling him away from the edge of the class, which just collapsed into nothingness. There was something positive about this gesture, so much so that Noah wanted to scream at him. Don't touch him. You can see him whenever you want to. What about me? I've been waiting years for this, you bastard. Don't take him from me. We really need to move on. Peace and love, girl. But Noah couldn't say anything. His words had failed him. The wind whipped at his hair and his clothes, trying to pull him into the abyss. The other side of the classroom, suspended in darkness, faded from sight. It was swallowed. Noah couldn't see August anymore. Not that it matters. It was all a dream. He's already dead. Yeah, that's right. He's already dead. Investigating this mystery isn't going to bring him back. It doesn't matter if I can find the killer. It's all for nothing. Why am I expending all this energy? Why do I care so much? It isn't like me. I might as well just give up. I should just give up on everything. Noah looked into the nothingness before him. He wanted to surrender himself into that darkness, to close his eyes and just fall, to just disappear. And then, in a similar motion to the one he'd felt a moment ago, something had grabbed his wrist. Noah. You should not be here. You know that too, don't you? I'll help you. Let me show you the reason you shouldn't stay in a place like this. Okay. Alright, show me something that makes me feel like I have a reason to keep going, please. Right now, all I want to do is give up. This is all too difficult. The world around Noah began to shift. While once it was dark and desolate, now it began to ripple. A bright white light cut through the darkness, searing straight through Noah's tightly shut eyelids. You know, I should have saved before I made that decision. I am going to, in fact, save before... Where is it? There we go. Save here. Excellent, because if I'm not trying to do anyone else's route but Kane, but this kid also low-key doesn't want to be alive right now, which is concerning. Staring straight through Noah's tightly shut eyelids, he blinked, wincing in pain as he did, and then he saw him. There was a boy framed against the blinding brightness, a boy with fair hair and green eyes. His face was familiar, uncannily so, and yet, you really do look like August. Yeah, you have mentioned that. I apologize if it makes you uncomfortable. I don't know what it makes me feel. It depends. Who are you, Crow? Crow smiled, but... Hey! Sorry. Mind your business. Yeah, mind your business. Stinky. Smelly, you stink. Oh, so stinky. Okay, but it was a wan sort of smile, one which failed to light up his eyes. Noah had the distinct feeling he had said something which upset him. Perhaps it was better not to ask. What is this place? The surrounding area was both beautiful and empty. It was a lovely nothingness that Noah couldn't quite comprehend. That's a good question. Meaning you're not sure of the answer? It's complicated. It's my home. Of that I'm certain. Apart from that, well, it's a place in between dreams. One small crack, which there are many. Neither a dream nor reality. It's like a void. It simply exists, I guess, to house souls who have nowhere else to go. Hello. Souls like you? I've spent quite a long time here, yeah. When I'm not drifting through other people's dreams, this is where you can find me. And what do you do here? That's another good question. You're full of them today, Noah. You don't know what you do here? I don't have much to do when I'm here. I simply wait. Wait and think and hope, I suppose. What do you think about? Everything, nothing. Crow shrugged, his smile a bashful one. Most of the time, I'm not really sure. There are times, great long stretches of time, where I don't know if I think at all. I just drift. I see. Noah frowned. Hey, stop that. She's like trying to knock my controller on the floor. What? I know you want attention. You cannot have it right now. I'm busy. So busy. He didn't know very much about Crow, but he still sympathized. How could he not when he looked like that, when he sounded like that? Nothing about simply being here and existing sounded like a nice way to live. It didn't sound like a way to live at all. I've been drifting in this place for a long time, so I'm used to it. There's no need for you to worry about me, Noah. Instead, I'd be happy if you worried about yourself some more. I know it's difficult, Noah, but you should never give up. Even if life is a struggle, it is a struggle worth fighting against. What if he is? If you simply fall away into a void, a place like this will become your home too. I wonder if he is August. Because if he's a soul that's lost, then he belongs to something or someone. And most people in dream sequences still appear as themselves. So I wonder if he lost his soul and he was just here so long that he forgot who he was. Hey, stop it. She's so stinky. Being with you here doesn't sound so bad. Crow smiled sadly. It makes me happy to hear that, Noah. I would like nothing more than to spend time with you, to hear your sorrows and soothe them. I am 2% certain. But you don't belong here. This place will eat away at you until you can never leave again. Like, you tell me that you don't think that this is that guy. I have so many theories, and they're probably all wrong. But it could be. Noah cringed back at the thought. What? Is that what happened to you? Are you in August who got trapped here? My apologies. Lightly, Crow laughed. Maybe I'm trying to just scare you a little. But I don't think this place is good for people. Not living people, at least. So you're dead, huh? Something about the way he said living people gave Noah pause. What about dead people? Well, this place is full of their souls. I see them occasionally. Humans who die in their dreams get trapped here forever. Interesting. They can't move on, so they're just, vaguely Crow shrugged, trapped. Eventually, when enough time passes, they forget who they are. Interesting. They even forget their names. Interesting. Guys, my theory's seeming a bit more plausible based on lore that just happened. Because how likely is it? So he's basically like Ivan, where he can travel between dreams, but he doesn't really know anything. He's like, you look really familiar, and I can't really pin why to Noah. So obviously he knows Noah, but he can't remember his name. So the fact that dead souls are the ones that are... so Noah probably... No, what's his name? It's not Noah. No, it is not his name. Oh, August. August died in a dream, probably. And... because he died in a dream, he got trapped here. And then slowly, because it's been, what, he said like 5 years or more? So it's been 5 years or more. He doesn't remember anything about who he is, because it ate away at it. They become formless, drifting spirits, and eventually they disappear. A shudder ran down Noah's spine. It sounded as though Crow was telling him a horror story, but Noah knew he was being sincere. Were there invisible souls, Noah wondered, drifting about in the ether as they spoke? Were his parents somewhere here? Though the thought was unnerving. That's horrible. It is, isn't it? I've seen it happen a few times myself. It's not a fate I'd wish on anybody, slowly wasting away like that. So then that begs the question, are you like Ivan more in the sense of like you can just hop through dreams? Like a... what are they called? Like a deity of some sort that just conveniently looks like August? Or are you just August trapped? Question mark. And I definitely won't wish it upon you. That's why you should go. You can't stay here. But what about you? Isn't this place also bad for you? Worrying about me again, Noah. I can't help it. I am different. I'm both similar and not similar to the spirits here in a way. But I've been here an awfully long time, and I've forgotten nothing. I still know myself as I did every day before this. But perhaps that's not saying much. I'm not sure if I ever really knew, other than my name. Interesting. There's not much to me. I'm simply Crow. Perhaps that's why this place doesn't affect me. There's nothing inside me for it to eat away at. Crow, I'm not sure that's true. I'm certain. Never for a second have I felt you're empty. You are yourself, and that's plenty. Really? Crow blinked. Surprise spread across his face for a few moments, until after a pause, his lips turned upwards into a small smile. That might be one of the nicest things that anyone's ever said to me. Not that you have much competition. You're the only person here who's ever spoken to me, minus Kane. Just that once when we first met. You don't get any visitors here? No, this isn't a place that people visit. No, this isn't a place people visit. Try not to feel bad for me, though. I've held out here for a long time without falling apart. Slay. I'm sure I can endure a little bit more, so long as you're alright. Now I just feel guilty. That wasn't my intention, but if my selfish request for you to keep living makes you want to walk even one more step, then I'll become a selfish man. For you, I could be the most selfish person in any dream. You should return to the real world, Noah. You have a busy few days ahead of you, don't you? I have a hunch you're not Crow, but just, I don't know if you are or not Crow. Crow chuckled, but the sound didn't last. It faded fast to be replaced with nothingness. With query eyes, Crow examined Noah. Before you go, you said that you were investigating those murders, right? You remembered? Crow nodded. Have you made much progress? Not yet. I'm planning to go back to my hometown, though, with Kane. We think the killer's related to me, so I figured we might be able to find some clues there. It's a bit of a long story, but I guess it's better than doing nothing. I'm proud of you, Noah. It's nice to see you being so proactive about something. If you need any advice, I'll always be here, in the space in between your dreams, to guide you. But realistically, I don't know how much use I can really be. I can't join you in the real world, and I feel like it'd be better if I didn't spend too much time with you here. Since you have the option, I think you should live in reality. That's where you belong. Crow. Noah was no fool, and neither was he insensitive. Not like Asher. He could hear the sorrow in Crow's voice, even though he was smiling. It hung in the air, thick and dense. But Crow laughed weakly. The feeling soon disappeared. I'm sorry. I talked more than I thought I would. Please just ignore me. I didn't mean to hold you up. I'll let you wake up soon enough, but be careful, alright? I don't know what's going on back from where you're from exactly, but I can tell that something isn't right. The dreams I drift through, they've been getting more and more unstable lately. I think it's because of outside interference. I can only interact with you like this while you're sleeping, so I can't look out for you. So, I'd like you to look out for yourself. Okay. Noah smiled at Crow, touched by his concern. He might look like August, but right now he's acting more like Kane. Then again, maybe I just can't remember well enough what August was like. It's been too long. Do you think I'm stupid enough to go waltzing headfirst into danger? I don't think you're stupid, not at all. Though I do question your decision-making skills sometimes. I am unsure whether they're the most sound. Hey, that's as good as saying I am stupid. Maybe not stupid. I don't know if stupid would be if it's necessarily what that immediately means. That wasn't the implication. I think you're a brave person, Noah, and I know you're very determined. But this determination could get you in trouble. Things aren't as they seem. You're in more danger than you think. And I want to ensure that you can emerge from this unscathed. If anything happened to you, I don't know what I'd do or what would become of me. Goodbye, Noah. Be safe. And then the world was gone, and Noah fell back into a restless sleep. Dang. R.I.P. It's rough out here. Crow's cryptic warning weighed on Noah for much of the following morning. Noah's... Blah, 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 blah. It's over. It's over. My throat's acting up again. Someone call the presses. It's over. Noah thought Crow's warning... Huh? Oh, he thought of it as he showered, dressed, and ate breakfast that Kane had prepared. The food Kane cooked was of course delicious, but Noah hardly could taste it. He was tired and he felt distracted to boot. The food might as well have been cardboard for all that Noah could appreciate it. Slay. Noah turned Crow's warning in his head as he brushed his teeth and packed his bag, and as he joined Kane in the car once he finished locking up his apartment. What did he mean things aren't as they seem? It sounded like he knows something, but if that's the case, why wouldn't he share what he knows with me? He wasn't trying to make me paranoid, was he? I wonder how much I can really trust him. Kane tried to draw Noah into the conversation a few times, but Noah was too lost in his thoughts to properly reciprocate. 10 minutes passed, then 20, 30. Soon an hour had gone by. The city had disappeared, but still, Noah remained stony-lipped. This did not dissuade Kane, however, to try to kickstart a conversation. He was nothing if not persistent. The many years he'd spent caring for Noah when Noah had refused to take care of himself attested to that much. So, it's been a while since we've been back, hasn't it? You haven't visited since you ran away. And for good reason. Oh, God. If I have to clear my throat one more time, I'm gonna lose my business. I'm gonna lose all my business. I didn't think I'd be heading back myself either. It's funny how life works sometimes. I don't know if the situation is that funny at all. People are dying, Kane. People die every day, and there's nothing new there. But I know what you mean, and you ought to know what I mean, too. I didn't mean it's funny in an amusing way. I just meant it's strange where life takes you. That's all. I know what you meant. Then why did you say that? If you knew what he meant, then why did you say it like that? You just like picking fights, huh? Noah exhaled as he stared out the window, watching the scenery speed past him. He and Kane had left the city behind them, and now they were cruising through the countryside. They were surrounded by hills on all sides, green, grassy atolls and hedgerows, trees, fields. It wasn't very interesting. The sights were beautiful, sure, but Noah had seen plenty of beautiful things in his life, things that weren't even real. I'm sorry. I think I just might be feeling on edge. I didn't mean to snap at you. It's alright. No, it's not. No, it's not. Kane kept his eyes focused on the road, but he smiled nonetheless. A smile which was obviously meant for Noah. I mean, who else is here? People have been dying, like you said. It makes sense that you'd feel tense. And you're going to be seeing your delightful older brother soon. I think that'd be enough to put anyone in a bad mood. Ugh, don't remind me. Are you starting to have second thoughts? And third thoughts, and fourth ones, too. Somehow I'm not surprised. But it'll be alright. I'm here. If Ash is too much of an unbearable asshole, I'll try to put him back in his place. Noah snorted. I'd like to see you try. Do you think I can't? It'll be a tall order. The only person Asher ever listened to is Reuben. But I'd rather Asher lays into you than me. If that's the way it is, I don't mind being a meat shield. I'd be more than happy to lay down my life for you, milady. Whatever. Noah rolled his eyes. You're stupid. I thought the situation called for a bit of levity. You've been looking pretty tense. Can you really blame me after everything? No, I guess not. No. This is a hell of a situation. You can say that again. Both Noah and Kane fell quiet. The only audible sound was the rumbling of the car's ignition and the wheels on the road. Noah had nothing more to say. He hadn't slept well, and he felt anxious as a result. Crow's cryptic warning, too, continued to circle in his head. But things are a little less awkward, I guess, than they were. I can already count on Kane to cheer me up. I'd forgotten how much fun talking to him is. Probably because I didn't let myself have fun after August died. I couldn't. Kane tried to cheer me up so many times, but I always pushed him further and further away. I wonder if that hurt. Noah pondered this mutely, his eyes still trained on the unremarkable landscape which passed by when... The buzzing sound made him turn his head. Is that? Oh, that'll be my phone. Would you mind checking it out for me, Noah? You want me to? Yeah, it's probably just a message from work. I told them not to email me while I was on holiday, but I guess they just couldn't help themselves. God, I'm just too popular, huh? I've only been there a couple of years, but I swear, the office would collapse without me. Wow, how incredible. You're such a big shot. Noah rolled his eyes and Kane grinned. You know it. You should consider yourself lucky, really, that I... God. It's over, I fear. It's over. That I deigned to take time out of my busy schedule to accompany you on this little trip. I really am doing you a solid here. A solid I didn't ask for. You're the one who insisted, actually, that I accompany you. Oh, come on, don't be like that. I'll be however I want, thanks. Noah took Kane's phone off the dashboard and examined it. Off the dashboard, girl. Anytime I put anything on the dashboard, it's going flying, landing right in my eye. He really didn't mind helping, but... Hey, Kane, how am I supposed to get into your phone? I don't know your PIN. Oh, I think you do. I do? Uh-huh. So it's like my birthday or something? Kane nodded and his fingers curled around the wheel. It's pretty easy. You should be able to guess it in a couple of attempts. I don't really feel like playing a guessing game right now. I'm too tired. Can't you just tell me? I could. Noah smiled, his eyes bright with mischief. But where would the fun in that be? Bruh. You would know better than anyone else that I don't have fun. Oh, I know too well, but isn't that more the reason why you should try? You never know. It might take your mind off things. That seems unlikely, but Noah examined Kane's phone and frowned. What string of numbers would he use as a pin? I guarantee it's like your birthday or something. Kane said he should know it, so it should have been something guessable to anybody who knew Kane. Maybe it's his birthday? Noah inputted the string of numbers to no avail. The phone didn't unlock. Well, I guess that would have been way too easy. What about his mother's, then his grandmother's? I know he's pretty close to them. Noah tried a few more combinations, once again to little avail. He couldn't get into Kane's phone. Are you having some trouble? I'd have less of it if you just told me the number, like a normal person. Whoever said I was normal? I'm sure I never made such a lofty claim. It's just as well you didn't, or you'd be a liar. Do you want me to give you a hint? Noah pondered this for a few moments, but no, it's fine. I should be able to figure out by myself. Are you starting to get competitive? Maybe. Is there a prize if I get it right? My eternal friendship, maybe? I thought I already had that. Noah rolled his eyes, but as he did, oh, a thought suddenly occurred to him. Could it be this? It seems like a bit of a stretch, but this is the only number that me and Kane would know. I don't want to give myself too importance, but it was with bated breath that Noah input the next sequence of numbers. 130805. May 8th, 2013, or August 5th, 2013. He didn't have any real expectations that it would work. To Noah's surprise, it was indeed the combination of numbers he needed to get in the phone. What is it? Well, how about that? Did you get it? Yeah, I did. I knew you would. I have every faith in you. Yeah. Noah scanned. What was the number? Like, cool, but like, what number was that? Am I supposed to remember what that was? Because I surely did not. Noah scanned Kane's latest text and relayed the message to him. The message, as it transpired, wasn't particularly important, as Kane said it could wait, that he'd text him back later. Noah nodded and set Kane's phone back on the dashboard. He reclined a bit in his chair, then he looked out the window, at the trees and the hedges that passed by. Noah tried to look nonchalant, but his thoughts were whirling. And they weren't for once about August or Crow or Asher. Are they not? They're not, huh? His pen, yeah. Oh, it's the date you met? Okay, that's really gay of you. I thought it was just gonna be his birthday or something. P.S. I have no idea what day I met my best friend. We weren't like, let me write that down. I don't even think we were friends for a long time anyways. We were like, we both were like, we were business partners. It's been years since then, but he still remembers. I can't believe it. But who am I to judge him? Also, the fact that you both know that is cray to me. It's like the first day of school or what? I can still remember it too. Oh, are we going back there? To when they first met? No? Okay, great. The drive was long, taking up the majority of the day. The sun passed from one side of the sky to the other, and all Noah could do was keep looking out that window. He watched the scenery gradually as it gradually changed. Long highways through the plains and fields became winding, steep mountain roads, the closer they were to their hometown. He never thought he'd come home, even if his parents died sooner rather than later. He'd always swore he wouldn't return, yet here he was, for better or for worse. Woohoo! Dude, we know this place. What's up? They took a right turn, and a moment later, they were driving through the lazy suburban streets of Summerfield. It was like Noah never left. Kane took a left, and soon the car was traveling up one of the mountains that overlooked the town. And there it was, his house, and next to it August's, and across the road, Kane's. The pair got out of the car and knocked at the door, and no one answered. Fortunately, no one had ever moved the spare key, and Noah let them in. Why the frick did nobody move the spare key? Someone kept the plants fresh. Interesting. I suspected, it might be Asher, but it's kind of cray of him. The house looked exactly the same as Noah remembered it, so much so it was almost eerie. The entrance hall was just as it had always been. The burnished wood floor spotless. The walls painted an inoffensive cream color. Not an inoffensive cream color. Noah's mother had done much of the interior design work about the house, and inoffensiveness seemed to have been her ambition. The rest of the house was similar to the entrance hall, sleek, modern, and bland alongside it. The living room was much like the entrance hall, wooden floors and beige walls. There were a few framed landscapes on the wall, but even these were inoffensive, depicting rolling hills and sandy shores. There were various knickknacks on the shelves in which Noah's parents had accrued during their lives, but Noah didn't think they possessed any sentimental value. They were just expensive bits and pieces his parents decided to put on display to showcase their how frivolously wealthy they were. No real heart had been put into the interior decor. It was all hollow and empty. So in a way, I guess it suits my parents perfectly. I don't think they ever cared about me as a person. They didn't give a damn about my feelings. They just wanted somebody they could boast about to their friends. It must have been awful for them that I turned out to be such a disappointment. Noah's mother, how he could recall, had wept for days when he'd stopped going to school. She asked him multiple times, why did this happen to me? She had never once stopped to question, however, how Noah might have felt. Everything was always about her. This house just exemplifies that. I don't think she cared about anybody else. I'm not even sure she cared about Dad all that much. Maybe he was just another status symbol to her, too, in the end. All of a sudden, a wave of exhaustion hit Noah. He swayed on his feet, and Kane, noticing this, rested a steady hand on his upper arm. Oh, I'm sure he did. Whoa, Noah. Wait, my bad. I'm reading it weird. Whoa there, you alright? I'm alright, yeah, I'm just feeling a bit lightheaded. It must have been the drive. It took us a while to get here. I think you need to sit down. Noah agreed to that second remark, but didn't necessarily agree with the first. The drive was long, but I don't know if that's what's taking it out of me. It must have been because I came back here. This place is full of so many memories. Noah let Kane lead him to the couch. Once there, he took a seat. Do you feel better now? A little. Noah scanned the living room. It was very calm and very quiet. The house looked like it always had, but there was one crucial difference. It was empty. His parents would never again sit here, sipping tea or watching the news. They were both dead. As for Asher, meanwhile... Hey, that's a good point. Where is Asher? Wasn't he meant to be staying here? I thought he'd be here to greet me, but maybe he went out? Well, it's not such a big deal. For all I know, he could be at the funeral home. I don't know what sort of preparations you're meant to make for a funeral. I don't have a clue. I guess I could give him a text. Noah turned this thought over in his head for all of 2 seconds before disregarding it. No, maybe not. If he's busy, he wouldn't want me bothering him. And anyways, I don't know if I'm in the mood to talk to him right now. Noah wasn't in the mood to do much of anything. He was more tired than he'd felt in a long time. Well, at least Asher's been taking good care of the place. It looks just like I remembered. Yeah, well, I doubt there's much cleaning. I wonder if my parents' cleaners still come around. Noah continued to glance about, memories flickering behind his eyes. He could remember the spilled glass of orange juice in here once, as a young boy. It had gone all over the carpet, and his mother had scolded him. Noah, look at what a mess you've made. Why can't you be more careful? If only you were more like Asher. This was a reoccurring remark Noah had been subjected to during his childhood. Oh, trust, I know that. Trust, I know. You don't have to tell me. I surely do know that. You surely won't let me forget. And later during his adolescence, why can't you be more like Asher? If only I knew. My life might have been easier then. You know what? What? I always hated it here. My mother used to keep an eye on me around the clock. Or at least that's what it felt like. She was always telling me what I could do and couldn't. If she could, I bet she would have made me ask her permission before I could breathe. I've never had a moment's peace with her around, and my dad wasn't much better. I felt so trapped. I'll bet. I know your parents were the easiest folks to get along with, but that might be putting it lightly. Well, it's a shame. When you finally did get a chance to escape, you trapped yourself even further. Noah winced. He knew that Kane had a point, but it's not like I wanted to become a recluse, you know? I just didn't see the point of living anymore. not without August. He was absolutely everything to me, until he wasn't. Which is crazy, because one person shouldn't be your whole world. I get that he was young, but still. Kane, perhaps seeing the shadow which crossed Noah's face, frowned. I'm sorry for bringing that up. It was insensitive of me. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. Oh, no. Noah answered vaguely, shaking his head as he did. There was no point in getting mad at Kane, even if that remark had been uncalled for. You're right. I dreamt about leaving this place for years and setting off on my own. But even though I escaped, it feels like part of me still stayed here. Maybe I never moved on after all. Maybe I never grew up. Maybe I stayed the same age as I was when August died. It feels almost as if time froze in place ever since I heard he'd passed away. The world kept right on turning for everybody else, but it didn't for me. It was like everything stops. Or I just wanted everything to stop. It was because I couldn't stand to live in a world anymore. Not in a world without August. Is that what he would have wanted, though? Noah yawned. His fatigue continued to weigh on him, dragging not only his body, but his eyelids alongside it. He was so tired. It was hard to keep sitting. Maybe Kane was right. The journey must have taken it out of me. I guess I haven't been sleeping too well either. I've been too busy thinking about all these murders. I guess trying to solve a string of serial homicides is more tiring than you think. No wonder the detectives on TV shows always look so tired. Hey Noah, are you alright? I'm fine, just a bit sleepy. I can tell. That's a pretty big yawn. Hey. Oh, wrong person. Hey, I think he'd still be annoyed about it. Kane shuffled a little closer to Noah on the couch until their shoulders were brushing. I'm sure he did. And then with a small smile, he said, if you need to take a quick nap, you can always use me as a pillow. I don't mind. What? Why? Well, why not? I've already been your chef and your chauffeur. I might as well add being a pillow to my ever-extensive resume. I don't know if you need to add it to your resume. You're not exactly hurting for work. I know, but my job isn't the most interesting thing in the world. It's definitely not what I had my heart set on when I was younger. You wanted to be a chef. You remembered? Kane smiled softly, touched perhaps at Noah's recollection. That's right, I used to help my mother out in the kitchen when I was a kid, and I guess I developed a knack for cooking. She showed me to peel vegetables and how to fillet a fish. My dad didn't understand the appeal. He said it was just pointless busy work, but I always liked it. It was fun spending time with my mom. It's a shame things have gotten so strained between us. Kane's voice trailed away. Bashfully, he shook his head. Well, whatever. My life didn't pan out quite like I'd wanted it, but then again, does anybody's? I think I've been pretty fortunate, all things considered. Though, I'd rather be your pillow than an office worker. Sounds way more interesting. You can't be serious right now. Just how boring is your job anyway? Sitting still for hours on end is more entertaining. You don't want to know. It's pretty freaking boring, though. Wow, that makes me glad. Noah yawned. I never applied for any office jobs myself. I feel like I dodged a bullet. And took a whole bunch more, metaphorically speaking, of course, after August's death. I'm sure you'd hate it, too. I know how you feel about authority. I don't feel anything particularly about authority. That's exactly what I meant. You're not cut out for sucking up to your superiors. You're way too blunt for it. Sometimes I feel like I'm not cut out for anything at all. Not for being a good son or a good friend or a good person in general, really. Now, you and I both know that's not true. You're a great artist, and you've always been smart, and, well, this is more of an aside, but I'm sure August thought you were a great partner, too. I don't know about that. I don't know what he ever saw in me. Whatever it was is long dead. He always looked so happy when he was with you. There's no way he was faking it. Why would he? I know being back in this town must bring back some bad memories, but maybe you can try to focus on that instead. There was some good, too, wasn't there? Noah fell silent. His head, which felt heavy, was crammed full of thoughts, slid to one side. He exhaled, eyes fluttering, as he rested his cheek against Kane's shoulder. Then very softly he said, yeah, there was good stuff, too. I had August, even if I didn't have him for very long. Noah smiled wryly. And I had you, too. You always had my back. That's right. I was there for you in the past, and I'm still here now. I'm not going to abandon you, so don't worry. You can always rely on me. Kane. Noah exhaled. He wasn't accustomed to being in such close proximity to other people, nor with being so vulnerable around them, not after August's death. For years he'd kept to himself. He'd always pushed everybody away who tried to help, Kane included. He hadn't seen the point in accepting their kindness or their sympathy. It felt too much like pity. Now, however, he was beginning to wonder. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe Kane really does care. How did I not see this before? I don't know if I was a good boyfriend to August, but... Softly Noah exhaled, but I definitely was a terrible friend. His eyes, which felt leaden, fell shut. His breathing began to even out, his chest rising up and down slowly, and then he fell asleep. I don't know about a good boyfriend, but he's definitely a terrible friend. Justice for Kane. Justice for Kane. Noah's dreams were not untroubled, however. When he opened his eyes, he found himself once again in his parents' living room. He wasn't leaning against Kane this time, however. Kane was nowhere to be seen. Noah's parents were there, though, both of them staring at him from across the coffee table with dark black eyes. Well, I guess it's not too surprising that I dream about them. I've been thinking about them nonstop since I got here. I should have expected it, really. But this doesn't bode well for the rest of my time here. Will I not be able to get any sleep? Noah's worried thoughts were soon interrupted, however, by his mother. She stared at her son, eyes vast and staring at her son, vast and staring. Almost bug-like as she said, "Noah, how could you have done this to me? How could you?" This was a line Noah was familiar with. His mother had trotted it out whenever Noah did something that displeased her. Well, she was a terrible mom, so... She had said the same thing when he'd talked about wanting to be an artist, and when she had found out about his feelings for August. Was that what she was talking about? This dead-eyed dream mother his imagination had conjured up? Was she talking about August? That wouldn't have been surprising either, but... Kane was such a nice boy. He was such a good influence. He was so kind and intelligent and so very polite. You could have learned a lot from him, but you've tainted him. What? No one knew it was pointless to engage with his mother. He knew she wasn't real, but the shock was just so great he couldn't help but ask. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb with us. You know what your mother means. Don't think we don't know what you've been doing. Peace and love, girl. Like, I didn't ask what for no freaking reason. I asked because I don't know what you're talking about. The things you've been getting up to with Kane, behind our backs. Oh, I'll never live it down. The shame is too great. How could you do this to us, Noah? How could you? All I wanted was for you to settle down with a nice woman and have a nice, normal family. But that isn't good enough for you. You keep throwing everything I've done for you back in my face. It's like you want... Huh? Right. It's like you want to turn us into laughingstocks. I'm far more concerned with Kane's family. How will his father react to this? If he knew what the two of you have been doing. If he knew what you'd put Kane up to. Oh, I can't bear it. The shame is too great. As if it's not enough that you had to be like that. Why'd you have to infect Kane, too? Is ruining us not enough for you? What? No, I didn't ruin anybody. I don't know what you're talking about. I never did anything to Kane. He's just a friend. You liar. I'm not lying. Why would I lie about something like this? Save. Return. I would never lies. Only person lies. Don't talk about him like that. Don't you dare talk about Kane with that tone of voice. Kane is a better person than any of you. He's my friend. And even if he were like me, he isn't ruined. He's perfect how he is. Oh. Talk crap about me all you want, but keep his name out of your mouth. These words forced their way out of Noah's throat, seeming to scald it. His whole body trembled. His parents, meanwhile, were distorting. His mother seemed to stretch like a piece of taffy. His father's head shrunk as though it was decaying. The lights flickered and then dimmed. And all the while, his mother wailed, "How could you do this to me? How could you? What did I do to deserve a son like you? I didn't do anything. Stop looking at me like that. Stop it. Stop it, you." Oh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Noah gasped as he awoke. The man like a man breaking from the water's surface, his eyes wide. He couldn't recall his dream, not in its entirety. He could only remember fragments. I think my parents were there, though. We were in this house, in this room, and they were talking to me. They said... What did they say? Noah was busy trying to piece everything together in their head, his head throbbing all the while when... Oh, hey. Hey, Noah, are you alright? Oh... Noah glanced at Cain. Glanced up at Cain, rather, feeling more than a little dazed. That's right. Cain came with me to my parents' place. I was feeling tired, so he said I should rest, and Did I fall asleep on his shoulder? That's kind of embarrassing. Noah drew back from Cain, putting some much-needed space between them, and he ran his hand through his hair. I'm... all right. Everything's fine. Are you sure? You look a little, well, rattled, I guess. Did you have a bad dream? A bad dream? Yeah, I suppose it was. I'm back in the house I was raised in, where my parents controlled me and my older brother abused me. So what did you think? Good point. You're gonna sleep worse now that we're here. It's not something I considered before we took off. Hopefully you can rest a little bit easier with me around. Sorry if that's just wishful thinking. Thanks for coming, Cain. I do appreciate it. Sorry, readjusting. Hear me out, though. Why can't we just stay in Cain's house or something? Isn't this house like across the street? Maybe his parents don't live there anymore either. No problem. It's... You know that I'd do anything for you. That's probably what Cain meant to say, but he didn't have a chance. Oh, he was interrupted by a sound from the hallway. The front door opening. Ooh, fun. Guess that's our friend, Asher. Somebody was there. It could only be one person unless it was a robber, I suppose. Noah glanced about the living room, his body taut and his eyes wide with trepidation when... What voice did I give him? Hey, I see you got here already. And you let yourself in, too. Why the hell didn't you text me know you'd gotten here, though? I know. Aren't you supposed to be the polite one? A familiar voice drifted from the hallway. Of course it was Asher. Noah heard his brother sliding off his shoes in the entrance of the hall and hanging up his coat. Noah turned over and thought of greeting Asher, but the thought of rising from the sofa seemed all of a sudden an impossibility. I'm too tired to deal with this. And now I'm starting to wonder, why did I come here again? Asher finished in the entrance hall and then headed to the living room. Noah heard the padding of footsteps and the creaking of the living room door being pushed ajar. Hey. He swiveled his head, still sitting on the couch, to meet his older brother's gaze. Heyo. And when he did, Noah flinched. Asher was standing in the doorway with his arms crossed. Asher, much like the room he inhabited, looked much the same as Noah remembered, which was to say his expression was contorted in an obvious look of dislike. And here I was, thinking he wanted to be civil with me. Maybe I really am naive. Asher's gaze was not, however, trained on Noah. Right. He was looking past his younger brother, at the man on the couch beside him. He was staring at Cain. I'd like to say it's good to see you, but you and I both know that'd be a fucking lie. The circumstances are awful enough as it is. What the hell is he doing here? Hey, he does have a name, you know. And believe me, I'm well aware. How could I not know your name when you're the most well-liked boy? When you were more well-liked by our parents than either of us. Of course, Noah would bring you along. Can't go anywhere without your little friend, can you? Could have at least told me, jerk. Huh? Cain looked at Noah, blinkingly bemused. You didn't mention that I was coming with you? Must have slipped my mind. This, of course, was a complete fabrication. It hadn't slipped Noah's mind that that he ought to tell Asher. How could it? Noah might have had a lot to deal with lately, but he hadn't gone completely senile, at least not yet. My mind might start giving up on me if I keep jumping through all these dreams. But that's something I can worry about later. For the present, I've got to deal with this. Ugh. Noah sighed. He hadn't told Asher about Cain because he knew it was going to cause problems. The pair had never liked one another. Cain disliked Asher because he knew how Asher treated Noah, and as for Asher, well, Noah wasn't sure what Asher had against him, but maybe he hated Cain on principle, simply because he was Noah's friend. I'm gonna assume it was that thing he just said about how his parents liked Cain better than he liked both of you. I'm gonna assume that's why. I'm gonna assume it's jealousy, and because as he said, like, as Asher said, like, his parents weren't nice to him either. Like, he was also considered a failure because he, like, dropped out of school and can't pay his rent and stuff like that. So he's probably just jealous because they liked Cain and they don't like, it's not like they don't like Asher, they just don't like him as much. Asher was petty enough to take I don't think that's true, but okay. He was petty enough to take against people solely because they associated with his younger brother. I think, honestly, it just has to be a problem with every single person on the planet, minus Reuben, I guess. It slipped your mind, huh? Asher didn't look convinced by Noah's excuse, but he didn't press it. Instead, he sighed. Well, it isn't my fault. I forgot your head's so far up your own ass with all your own art and stuff that you don't stop to consider anyone else. And our parents did just die. Look, I forgot, sorry. But I grew up here just as much as you did. If I want to bring someone with me, I can. I'm trying to plan a funeral and sort through belongings of our dead parents, Noah. I'd say that calls for letting someone know you're bringing a friend over. Whatever. You're being inconsiderate is nothing new. Can you not function by yourself? I can function just fine, thank you. No, he can't. Can you now? Asher snorted. That's news to me. I thought you were still wasting in that grotty little apartment of yours with Cain while Cain babied you. But what do I know? Maybe things have changed. I think I've changed a fair amount since we last saw one another. You're the one who hasn't changed, you think? I'll take that as a compliment, given I've been getting fuck all sleep lately. It's not easy, to arrange a funeral for your parents while keeping up with your grades and working part-time jobs. Not that you'd know anything about working hard, of course. You just ran away and spent all your time drawing pictures while Cain handled all the difficult stuff, huh? Asher, you... Hey. Cain interjected before Noah could retort, his hands balled into fists. How about you try watching your mouth for once? I understand that you should have been told I was coming. Noah should have mentioned it. But that's no reason to start giving him shit. You're not the only one whose parents have died. Have a little... God damn it. Yeah, I think we're gonna stop soon. Have a little empathy for once in your miserable little life. Ooh, get him. Well, I know that. I think I'm the only one out of the two of us who gives a damn, though. And what makes you say that, huh? Oh, lots of reasons. The chief being that Noah didn't try to contact me until a week after you heard they died. I don't know about you, but that doesn't act... Yeah. You know what? Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Actually, yeah. I'm gonna go back all the way to when he walked in. We're gonna go to here. That's where we're stopping, okay? That's what we're doing. We're doing that. We're stopping right there. We're stopping right there. Because I'm telling you, my throat is going through it right now. And I obviously can't read anymore. So I'm stopping. I don't know what's happening. As per usual, pretty sure, like 90% certain, Crow is possibly just August. They have not told us how August has died at all. So my guess is that I wonder, there must be something that happened. Like, what if he, got hit on the head and got amnesia or was in, a coma and then he died in his sleep? And so that's, his self in his sleep in that world. But I guess also to figure out that truly, I'd probably have to pick him over and over, which I don't do. I literally keep picking Cain. And it's just also because I fully believe that he should just move on at this point. So, Because, again, when you move on from something, you're not forgetting the people who have died. You're still, you still remember them, but there's a difference between remembering the people who have died around you and holding on to them, like holding not a grudge. I don't know what you would call that. Oh, anyways, that's it for me. I'm kind of eepy, so I'm gonna stop now. Hope you're having fun, as much if not more than I am, and I'll see you all next time.